You are listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast, a show by personal trainers for personal trainers. It's time to become a better trainer, get more clients, and change more lives. And now, here's your host, the head coach and founder of Fitness Mentors, Eddie Lester.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to this week's webinar. We are going to be going over how to monitor client progress online. And specifically, we're thinking about holding your clients accountable, as well as providing the experience to optimize client retention. So once again, if you have any questions, you're going to type it in that Q&A box down below, or that little icon, the Q&A icon down at the bottom there. And we do, just as a heads up, we might have my garden show up in the middle of this. He appeared to be a little late this morning, but usually I do this on Tuesdays, so I avoid that. But if you do hear some background noise, that's what it's going to be. So my apologies. But let's go ahead and jump into this topic, guys. I'm really excited to talk about client retention because it is such a huge piece to the online training business. And for those of you that are looking into getting into training online, when you think about the best ways to really optimize your experience, that is going to really lead to clients wanting to work with you consistently. And providing them consistent value, consistent follow-up, consistent accountability is huge in that respect. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here as we start to talk about the topic today. And really, I want you guys to keep your minds open as far as everything that you can do to really build your business to be successful. And this actual lecture is actually taken from our client retention chapter in our Certified Online Personal Trainer course. Okay. And just as a heads up, I did want to make a quick announcement that we're actually going to be launching our weekly mentorship program for online personal trainers. And that is going to be held once a week on Mondays. You can actually see that on our Certified Online Personal Trainer page. And really what that's going to be is really going to help you to, if you need that extra help as far as building your business, you want the personal attention from me and our mentors here at Fitness Mentors, we really wanted to provide something that you can go to on a weekly basis to really hold yourself accountable in achieving all the successes around our course, and then also putting those into action, therefore making it a possibility that, or just a higher possibility for success. So when we think about the really whole aspect of training online, we really want to ensure that our client experience is, we'll say, best possible. And one of those tools is to remain in constant communication with your clients. But yeah, okay. So really when we start to look at this presentation, we have to think about the accountability measurements and communicating those in an effective way that allows you to really, we'll say, optimize the success of your clients and really just enhances the client's ability to be successful. So one of those big tools is communication, specifically accountability. And the first kind of step when I start to think of getting into working with your clients, and this is really true across all aspects of relationships in general, but one of the most important things that humans need is someone to really listen to them. When you can truly listen to your clients, the ability to build rapport with them will allow you to be successful. So this first slide that we're going to be talking about is really all about listening. And this is just general information for you guys to, we'll say, use for rapport building and really just use for success in relationships, in communication in general. So one of the first things that we always think of when we're talking about grabbing the, we'll say, best experience for our clients is we always want to keep their goals and their reasons for participating or joining your program in mind. And specifically the first task that I think about when listening, and this is kind of, we've already had our calls with our clients. We've already got them signed up. They're already in the middle of a program. And now we're thinking about the aspect of getting them through the program and holding them accountable to be successful. So the first thing that we always need to think about whenever we reach out to our clients is that, why are they training? What are they training for? What emotions did they convey to you when they initially signed up to work with you? That's your primary reason for helping them and getting them through the program that they're in. And if you keep that at the front of your mind by revisiting client forms, that is going to be extremely beneficial when we start to think about the ability to continue working with your clients. Because if they always know that you listened to them in the very beginning, the very first call that you had, you asked them all the questions about what they wanted in training, then really that is going to build a huge rapport, because every time that you're reaching out to them, you're mentioning what they are doing this for. And if you consistently remind them of that, that helps them to stay accountable to their goals. Okay, and also then what emotions did they convey initially, and how can you tie those emotions to the goal and then keep them tracking forward? So the next one is going to be to discover their current barriers. So when we think about reaching out to our clients or communicating with our clients during their program, it's so important to always be asking, hey, what is preventing you from being successful right now? What are your current barriers that are really, we'll say, enabling you to not perform the actions necessary? So when you reach out to your clients, that's one of the questions. Let's say you have a weekly phone call with your clients, and we're going to be going over all of the accountability checklists later on in this presentation. But what barriers do they currently have right now that are preventing them from success? So on a daily basis, what barriers might they be running into? On a weekly basis, what might they be running into? And then on a monthly basis, and even in the sense of at home, in their, when they're working out, the equipment, all types of aspects need to be addressed as far as barriers, because you really want to make sure that whatever you're teaching them and giving them, they're able to complete. And if there is a barrier to completing one of those, you need to know right away, because if there's a barrier and you don't address it, the likelihood of client retention drops significantly. Because remember, you're a coach as well. And when we think about online training, we don't compare it as much to in-person training, because you're consistently on a daily basis, even multiple times a day, coaching them through the habits necessary to be successful. Okay. So after you think about discovering their current barriers, is going to always be to think about resetting SMART goals, and specifically with rewards. And for most of you that are personal trainers, you understand that having SMART goals is a great way to really understand exactly what the client is looking to achieve. So when you hear a barrier, you need to immediately address that barrier by creating a SMART goal to prevent that barrier. That's an idea, because not only are you creating SMART goals for achieving the long-term goal and short-term goal, but also for, we'll say, preventing barriers or getting past barriers. Setting SMART goals for habits and behaviors that lead to success. Setting goals and being clear about that in your communication is huge. And then just an idea as far as like when setting SMART goals, what are the rewards for achieving those goals? If you set rewards, that small item in our minds as all is that, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get something like X, Y, and Z. I actually just took my first Peloton class for the first time. And towards the end of the class, the instructor was mentioning a specific goal afterwards of, if you give your all for the next 5 minutes after this class, you can go do X, Y, and Z. They were very specific in the sense of reminding us why we were doing that Peloton class. And in the last 5 minutes, pushing us to go harder, because after it, we would feel better, or after it, you would feel accomplished. So they were connecting some emotions to completing a specific goal. Remember, guys, if you have questions during this presentation, ask them through the Q&A button down below. I'll also get to the chat a little bit later on, but all questions go to that Q&A, and we'll get through those right after this. All right, and then remember, anytime you're working on effective communication with your clients, what do they need? Give them the opportunity, give them the floor, have them ask questions on, or to really get to know exactly what, or so that they're very clear as far as what they need to be achieving, or if they are confused on any issues with your program, or remember, asking questions to them is important because you want to get to know them and help them to achieve their goals, but give them the opportunity to communicate with you about their questions on anything. And usually, guys, if you're thorough enough, your clients won't have too many questions. So that's really one of the goals as well. All right, but let's go ahead and get into really the process of holding our clients accountable. So this is super, super important when we think about client retention, is collecting data. Okay, so as an online personal trainer, your data proves achievement of your clients' goals. So when you can show data and have that be improving, whether it be behavioral data, whether it be actual physical data around their health, or mental data around the tracking of the number of hours of sleep, or recovery data. There's so many data points that you can collect, and I'll help you at the end of this presentation by giving you a complete data checklist, and that is basically going to allow you to create your own data tracking system, which would allow you to basically have the delivery of your online personal training program be superseded with, hey, here's what you need to do on a daily basis to be successful. Here's what you need to do on a weekly basis to be successful. And here's what you need to do on a monthly basis to be successful. This specific checklist will allow you to really enhance your client's ability to succeed, as well as create that client retention that I'm sure you guys are all looking for if you are working already. And guys, if you're not started as an online personal trainer yet, I just want to throw out there that this, we'll say, situation worldwide has set up the consumer to be so comfortable using online fitness options. So, in the next maybe 2 to 6 weeks, the entire world is going to open back up again, more or less. And yes, you are going to go back to your gym jobs. Yes, clients are going to start training with you back in person again. But when you think about the ability to be successful and even add an extra $1,000 per month to your revenue, online is a huge option, and especially because everyone was forced to get a taste. Anyone that likes fitness, anyone that has had a personal trainer, all of a sudden has been forced to go online because of this crisis. If you guys are looking to be successful for the future of personal training, you need to have an online training option, even if it's just that, hey, not only do I do in-person training, but I also do virtual calls if you're in another city, or if the traffic's bad, or if you're in another state or another country. And then guys, like in our course, we show you about 6 different ways that you can set up your online business, as far as video calls, private personalized training, PDFs that are pre-made, video live virtual training, group live virtual training. And we've actually had a ton of success with the students in our current course, launching all of those. And so many were so grateful that they started this before this whole crisis happened. But people that did join us as well during this crisis are immediately able to take action and create this quick business to at least have that small additional offering to what you're going to be offering 6 weeks down the road. In the sense of, you might go back to your normal job training in person, but you need to have an online option as a way to earn extra income, as well as to, if you want to go completely online, it's so possible now that the consumer has been exposed to virtual training across the board. All right, so getting back to data collection, when you think about daily data collection, it's important that as an online trainer, in your top tier packages, this is like we talked about pricing last week, in your top tier packages, you need to be following up with your clients absolutely 100% daily. Obviously, you can create your own business however you want, but as a suggestion, if someone's paying $600 to $1,000 a month, you need a form that they fill out daily that has behavioral checklists, that has exercise checklists, that has sleep checklists, that has habits coaching checklists, recovery checklists, flexibility. You need to have a very specific way to say, hey, I'm checking in on you. Fill out this form, and I will know exactly where you were successful and where you were not. In your top tier packages, I feel like this is extremely important to have daily checklists that your clients fill out. So Once again, when you send a daily checklist to confirm that your clients have done X, Y, and Z, their retention is going to be higher because they know that you're right there for them. Also, the likelihood of them achieving their goal goes up as well. So really, when you think about that, regardless of how often that you check in throughout the day, this is going to keep them mindful that you're always there for them, as well as mindful of their commitment to working with you. Okay. So let's talk about the daily data that you should be tracking. And once again, at the end of this webinar, I'm going to provide you guys a link so that you can download our checklist that has all of these data points that you can organize into your own daily checklist, weekly checklist, and monthly checklist, which is huge because that's where success is long-term in client retention. All right, so tracking data on a daily basis. What do you need to track? Workouts, number one. Absolutely. That's the easiest one. All of you assume that you need people's workouts. When you think about that, you can do it through an online personal training software. You can have a Google Doc that's completely free that they fill in on a daily basis after each workout. But you really need to be sure to encourage the tracking of maybe the time of their cardiorespiratory activity if you're programming that as well. Also the time of their, the total number of acute variables achieved, whether it be the weight that they performed, the reps that they performed, the sets that they performed, or even the total volume of training. Tracking the workout in that sense as well can be beneficial, as well as really just allow the client to know that you're checking on every single data point to make sure that they're successful. That's the workout, super simple. Cardiorespiratory exercise, resistance training exercise, and whatever other forms of exercise that you have that broken down into a checklist with data points that you send to them or they fill out on a daily basis. Next, with all fitness goals is going to be a food or nutritional success checklist or nutrition success data points. Okay. What does that look like? Are you giving full meal plans? Are they eating exactly to a specific pattern or diet or calories? If it fits your macros or macronutrient ratios, what are you tracking food wise? You need to have that ready to go. Basically, as we all know, personal trainers, food is extremely important to the achievement of all fitness goals. And, having a client keep a food log, or you set a daily checklist on, did you eat X food, or did you eat under this amount of calories? And this, once again, guys, this can be automated, done through like a text message, or it can be an email, or it can be a notification in GChat or on, Viber or whatever, Facebook Messenger, all the messenger apps. Guys, communication is easy to have. You just need to deliver it somehow. That's your choice as far as the way that you decide how to deliver your communication. All right. But you could also track food through a software. I think MyFitnessPal offers that element in which a client can type in all their food and they get all the calories tracked, and you can approve or check it on a daily basis. Or even just a handwritten food log. Text me your handwritten food log and we'll analyze it. But really, food guys, when they eat all the right foods and eat to your plan, it optimizes their ability to be successful and therefore optimizes client retention. Next, other daily data tracking points is sleep. Sleep is huge from a recovery standpoint, as well as a hormonal optimization standpoint, which leads to better achievement of fitness goals as well. So remember, how can they track their sleep? There's mobile apps that you can lay on your bed that tells you your REM sequence. There's basically, I fell asleep at 11 p.m. and I woke up at 7 a.m. I got my 8 hours, something like that. Whatever your parameters around successful sleep, you need to have that in your daily checklist. Next is meditation and stress levels. So some of you as personal trainers will offer an element of coaching that is beyond just fitness and health and that sort of elements. And also you have to keep in mind that if someone's stressed, that could wreck their entire ability to achieve fitness goals. So a meditation or a stress checklist to see where their mental standpoint is on a daily basis can be very important as well. So so once again, the market for stress reduction tools is huge. I'm sure some of you have apps that have calming music or helpful meditation music. If this is your style as a personal trainer, as a personal or fitness coach, online fitness coach, you need to include these data parameters around this checklist as well. So once again, meditation. I did my 10-minute meditation today, or I my stress level was a 1 through 10 checklist. You can have that as well. The more data that you can provide, the more personalized the experience feels. Very important. Great way to add a whole nother element of your business as well, as to really go beyond fitness, go beyond regular, parameters, and go into that mental element of coaching. All right, so that's going to be the most for of the daily data checkpoints. Now we're going to get into the weekly data collection or checkpoints, and also the weekly check-ins. So for those of you that are offering top tier services in the $200 to $1,000 range, you most likely will have a weekly check-in call. And that call is important for reconnecting, building rapport, see how their life's going, important first steps. And then also to talk about their daily checkpoints that you collected, as well as their entire weekly checkpoints that you wanted to, we'll say, track. So check-ins for the online personal trainer create the opportunity to gauge the client's motivation on a weekly basis. These are the weekly check-ins. And really showing that support and check-in allows clients to stay on track on a weekly basis. So depending on the services you offer, you are going to want to perform either maybe a twice weekly or once weekly call or video call like we're doing now. That really just allows the person to connect with you as well as go over their success of that week. Okay, it could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes. In a top package, you could say 30 to 40 minutes of hammering down all the checkpoints. Guys, remember, with coaching and online fitness coaching and fitness online personal training, you have the opportunity to offer significantly more than just fitness. If you are an expert in business, add a business element. I'm not only your fitness coach and so on, but I can also be a business mentor to help you bounce ideas off of in your job as a CEO, or in your job as a top professional or VP of something in your industry. Keep that in mind as you start to think about developing your services if you have not already. Adding that one additional service as an online personal trainer helps your niche to be attracted to you even further. Huge. All right. Once again, video calls, phone calls, check-in on a weekly basis is highly recommended in your top packages. Personalized check-ins do hold more credibility in the sense of, that face-to-face time, because it's really going to help drive that connection to you further. And guys, when people purchase your online personal training, it's because of you. It's not because you offer the best fitness training service or best programs. It's because they trust you. They think you are a real human and you're a genuine person that they want to be on with. So building that rapport, maintaining that connection helps to increase client retention. So what checkpoints should you check on a weekly basis? Okay. So did they complete all their process goals, which is like, I completed all workouts. I did all my cardiorespiratory workouts. I made my food of the week. I ate all that food that I prepared. I packed my gym bag every night before I went to the gym. I went to bed on time each night. I ate sleep and did, daily meditation or stress reduction exercise. Okay. Super simple. Did you go through all these on a broad checklist for the entire week? Boom, 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 boom. You can go over this with them in the call, or you can send this to them before the call and go over it, go over their answers on the call. Your decision. You run your business exactly the way you want to. Now, what about the collection of body data? So if you're looking to track specific data points around their physicalness in the sense of body fat or weight, that's what you can collect with body data. Did they jump on the scale this Friday or this Friday at 5 p.m. like you suggested, and they weigh in at? If their goal is weight loss, you can track their weight loss points very easily on a weekly basis. Next is going to be, so as far as the collection of body data, this is all your choice on what you want to track, but body fat percentage, body weight, the fat weight of that based on some simple math, the muscle weight, their lean muscle gain, that's really typically occurs when you think of the getting the body fat percentage and then subtracting the body fat weight by the total weight to get your lean muscle weight or your lean weight. And then also maybe circumference measurements if your clientele likes that sort of metrics. So what are the circumference measurements of their calves, their thighs, their waist, their hips, their chest, their shoulders, their neck, their arms? Maybe they're trying to get giant biceps. So you're tracking that. All right, so you want to collect body data on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. Your decision, but if you do track it on a weekly basis, that can give your clients some beautiful data points to see their weight dropping slowly. Okay. All right. So other data points that can be collected on a weekly basis, this is when we think of the collection of body data, what exactly can you track? Their skin fold measurements, maybe their resting heart rate, if they're focused on overall health. Maybe they started in a deconditioned state, and the more that they work out and exercise, their resting heart rate drops. Their blood pressure, if they have their own blood pressure measurement, or if you're working with an older population that needs to track blood pressure on a consistent basis. Every morning when you wake up, check your blood pressure, write it down, or once a week, check your blood pressure to see if it's dropping, if that's one of their goals. And also, guys, for those of you that are really in the performance element of online training, in the sense of you're training basketball players or athletes in general, maybe they're child athletes or they're high school, college athletes or professional athletes, if that's your target market, what performance data do you need to track? Okay, so maybe their vertical jump height. Teach them how to measure their vertical jump height. Their maximum push-ups or pull-ups for say strength endurance. Maybe their 1 rep maximums, if that's something that you're doing as far as strength goes. Obviously, you need to be careful and teach them how to do that effectively, but if they're professional athletes, they might be able to do that. Their 40-yard dash, their VO2 tests, if they want to perform a VO2 test on themselves or estimated VO2 test. Maybe a 1 mile run time, if you're looking for that or you're training that endurance athlete. Also, guys, if you train a specific sport that has the need to track very specific performance data, okay, you want to include all of those assessments and or data point tests in your checklist. Okay, so if it's basketball, maybe you want to track their T-test time. Okay, maybe if it's maybe volleyball, you want to check specifically their vertical jump and their broad jump, their forward jump length, different things like that. So keep that in mind as far as what you're actually tracking. Remember, guys, whatever your niche needs to achieve, that's where you get your data points. And if you don't know what your niche is, definitely check out our previous webinars and also check out our online course or certified online personal trainer course, because in that whole first chapter, we get into how to set up who you want to train. And then that leads to all of this beautifulness down further in the course and really allows you to be successful long-term. All right, so how and what do you perform on a monthly basis? So the monthly reassessment, this is where you might be selling another package again. You might be selling it, or if it's a 3-month package, at the end of that 3 months, you're doing a reassessment with the emphasis on selling again, okay? If you guys do all via call or all via text or assessment form, you need to have a monthly review form as well. This is data points. And you need to put this together based on your target population. So the monthly reassessment is pivotal as it gives the trainer the opportunity to sell another package. Also, this will really prove that your program and services work. If you get to the end of the program and you tracked very little data points and you show them the very few data points that they did okay at, there's not a lot of, we'll say, huge buy again signals. So that when you track a ton of data and you present that data in a way that shows them successfully achieving their goals on a monthly basis, why would they not continue? Okay, I actually just had another assessment or monthly assessment with one of my clients, and he was behind 1 week on his previous program. And I basically encouraged him to finish that week. He paid for another thing, but the way that I got him to pay was say, hey, next month, in your achievement of last month, which you said you wanted to lose X amount of weight, which we literally achieved above his weight loss goal. And then I showed him that weight loss goal as well as a few other data points around his habits and behaviors around health. And he was like, oh, wow, like we've gone such a long way. He actually lost about, 28 pounds in 2 months working with me online. And the way that we transitioned next was I told him about all the data points. He achieved them. He was so excited. He told me he was probably only going to do 2 months with me. But then the success that I showed him there, and I said, hey, well, next program, we're getting into the muscle building side that you talked about. And so I showed him all the data points. They were all proving his success, proving that working with me works. And then I said, the next program is going to be better because we're going to focus on gaining muscle for the summer months coming up. Okay. And that was just an easy lock and a great way to sell because I had the data points to show him. So important, guys, for client retention. All right. So once again, it's also great to gather feedback around how the client is feeling about your services. And this is also a great listening scenario, which we talked about on the first slide. Boost that client rapport, get to know them. You know, in times like this, maybe talk about their mental, we'll say, thoughts and where their outlook on the next month is for just their health in general and their fears. Bring up everything. Get to know them even deeper as the more deeper you know them, the more that you connect with them, the better chance at client retention you'll have. But also, guys, when I say client retention and sales, I'm talking about helping people consistently achieve their goals and having that feeling of I'm helping people in the world and really developing, confidence in yourself and helping more people because of that. Okay. But yeah, it's also important before this call that you send a scheduling email. So, hey, by the way, don't even say your program ends, but say, hey, I want to jump on a call Wednesday at this time. Or Friday at this time because I want to talk about your next program or whatever it is. Send them an email. If it's automated, that's great. Send a text message, however it works. Communicate with them about this call. Also, performing a video call can be a little bit more face-to-face. Like right now, we're talking, you're seeing my face, you're seeing my energy, you're seeing my body language, and that is hopefully motivating you to be excited about this topic, okay? That's important as human-to-human connection, guys. So much communication is done via body language and facial expressions and things like that. So keep that in mind. Yes, but whatever works best for your style of business is what we encourage. All right, so what do you review on a monthly basis? You analyze all your data. Very simple. You analyze, interpret the previous month's data. You do it on a weekly basis, on a weekly call, and a monthly basis on a monthly call. Combine all the week's data collection, put it together, and analyze it from a monthly perspective. This is going to provide a great platform to start your monthly call. Okay. This will also show you how their effort towards their daily, weekly goals have been and how they've translated to goal success. So how does their day one body compare to their current date body? That's a huge disparity that you can show to prove that your program is working. Next is determine their goal success. Based on their SMART goals that you set for that month or that length of time, are they on track? Did they achieve their monthly goal? And provide the body data to prove that they achieved that monthly goal. Did they perform and complete all process goals? Their habits, did they change their habits to be successful? Hey, by the way, you said that you were drinking 5 nights a week, 1 to 2 glasses of wine, 1 to 3 glasses of wine. And because of our working together, you told me and you've stopped to where now you're only having that amount of wine 2 nights a week. Do you know how great that is for your health and how much that's leading towards the achievement of your fitness goals? Guys, you are an online coach that assists with fitness and health. Keep that in mind because every behavior and habit that they have created them that are detrimental to the achievement of their goals needs to be brought up and proven that they've increased their ability to will be healthier in that respect. Okay. And then also, guys, if they achieve their goals, you need to reward that goal achievement. Whatever reward you set at the beginning of the month, they get to do now. Whether that be, a massage, or they get to buy a new pair of fitness shoes, or they get to go on that vacation, whatever your clients want and would be driven by as a reward, you need to give them the okay to do that. And it doesn't have to be you giving them a reward in the sense of, hey, here's a $50 gift card to go buy yourself some shoes. No, it could be anything. Okay, you need to be creative about your population and what they want. But all of these topics are huge for client retention, guys. And this call, you need to have everything in order and you need to set it up and boom, hit your data points, go through it, tell them how successful they are. And the likelihood of them not continuing, if you're going to this extent to prove to them their success, very low. Okay. All right. So also, if you need to, on the monthly call, describe and implement the new goal tracking strategies. So if you set new goals that have different tracking parameters and different data points, you need to describe to them and implement them how they're going to track them, how often they're going to track them, and be real about, basically just help them track all of the new data points or the new goal tracking strategies. To show them how to collect that data. So important for the next month's call. Next is going to be to set the dates for goal achievement. If they have another goal that they bring up that's like, oh, hey, like my client, for example, he wanted to lose 28 pounds. Well, he wanted to lose actually 20 pounds. He lost 28. So we were already like half a month ahead of schedule. I said, hey, let's jump into the muscle building section. But he then has a new goal of gaining more muscle. So he maybe wants to gain 5 pounds of muscle, which, hey, gaining 5 pounds of muscle is a big commitment. It may take up to 2 months for you to achieve this. Okay, boom. I now have him for another 2 months because he wants to work towards gaining that muscle. So just like any SMART goal training in person, set the new goals and the dates for that goal achievement using the SMART method.
As always, thanks for listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. You can learn more about fitness mentors at fitnessmentors.com. Be sure to share this podcast on social media. And remember, we are here to help you succeed.